Derek, what's going to happen?
From the standpoint of the police department?
Yes. If you were just to look at the facts of this case on their face value, you might...
Nicole, sometimes the worst thing a person can do is to simply not recognize the obvious.
Well, this is one time when the answer may not be obvious. You don't agree with that, do you?
No, I'm afraid I don't. I don't believe in phantoms, trapdoors, or human flies. I believe in what my eyes, ears, and my senses tell me. I believe in solid facts and logical conclusions.
You think Draper did this?
This hasn't been issued yet, but it's a warrant for Draper's arrest. The charge specified here is only assault. Let's just hope it doesn't become anything worse.
You mean murder?
Well, let's face it, it was attempted murder. That blow on the head was meant to kill Margo.
Well, she's not dead, you know. She came to for a little while this morning.
I didn't know that. Why didn't somebody tell me?
I don't know. It was just for a little while. April said she slipped back into unconsciousness pretty quickly.
April? So her daughter was with her when this happened?
Yeah?
What'd she say?
Nothing. I don't know.
Well, let's hope she comes to again, at least long enough to tell us the name of the person who struck her. Maybe then I won't have to use this on any charge.
Thank you for coming back into my life. Thank you for learning to love me. I learned to love you, Mother. Goodbye.
I know what you're going to say about this, but I've known Draper for several years, and he just isn't the sort of person
He's not capable of violence, is that what you mean?
You heard that before.
Only recently from one of my own officers. You know, that's been the biggest problem on this case. All of my top men know Draper and his wife.
Well, maybe you should listen to their opinion.
If I didn't have so many facts to contend with, I would love to listen to their opinions. However, this case is filled with facts.
Misleading facts, if you ask me.
All right, I will ask you, and you tell me my error. We have 2 eyewitnesses, including Draper Scott himself, who saw Margo Dorn enter the apartment house only a minute before he did. There's only one way in and out of that apartment. Draper says that when he got up to the penthouse, there was nobody there, yet somebody struck Margo a mortal blow. Now, if it wasn't by Draper Scott, I'd like to know by who.
I don't know.
No, but you do know he's not the violent type.
He isn't. I swear he isn't.
No more than your own husband? Look, I'm sorry, Nicole, but you do have an example close to home, don't you?
Derek, Miles was not responsible for my fall on the stairs. I told you it was completely accidental.
But he did become violently emotional. Calm, reasonable, gentle Dr. Kavanaugh. Well, why couldn't calm, reasonable, gentle Draper Scott become violently emotional and give in to a violent impulse? Nicole, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to draw any parallels like that.
Chief?
Hello.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, well, hello, Nicole.
I'm okay. I was just leaving.
Perhaps you'd better stay. Got some bad news.
Is it about Margo?
Yeah. Hospital called me a little while ago. She's dead.
God. I'm gonna go see April.
Well, our situation seems to have changed. Perhaps we'd better discuss it.
Yes, I think you're right. We better discuss it.
What's that? I heard a rumor you were about to make an arrest.
Well, I've been considering it. Of course, now this warrant has to be changed from assault to homicide.
The name on the warrant, that doesn't change, huh?
No, that doesn't change. Look, I've given a half-dozen lectures this week on objectivity to my men, telling them not to let their personal feelings get in the way of this investigation.
Oh, yes. Your famous friendship lecture.
Logan, I know Draper Scott is your closest friend, and that you do everything you can to postpone having to serve this. But he's not my friend. And even if he was...
Derek, you know why I'm sure he's innocent?
Why?
Because he said he is. No. If Draper had temporarily lost his reason and attacked his mother-in-law, he'd have admitted it. But he hasn't. He swears he did not do it, and that is good enough for me.
I see.
Now, I hate to pull rank on you, but I'm the one that has to ask for an indictment in this town. And I don't care how baffling these circumstances seem to be to you. I'm telling you that there is another explanation, and it is your job to find it.
I know all of this, Deborah. Steve's already told me.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought I'd like to tell you just the same, since I was Mrs. Madison's victim. And I thought you'd like to know something else, too. That Mrs. Madison admitted to being Martha Corey.
Is she really?
Mm-hmm.
It's more than she ever did for me. She just kept on denying it.
Yeah, well, Steve and I learned about it when we went over to the Madison. Are you all right, Miles? You seem a little cold or something.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah. Anyway, we went over to question Elliot about Margo Dorn.
Elliot?
He's living there, you know. In fact, my information tells me that he and Nola are planning on getting married.
He doesn't waste any time, does he?
Really. Well, the thing is, I think there's going to be a slight hitch in the plan since Margo said she wasn't going to give him a divorce. So you can understand why the police are so interested.
Oh, yeah, of course, that gives him a motive.
Yeah. Well, he has an alibi, too. Well, I don't know if it's going to hold up, though. Anyway, that's not what I came here to tell you. I just wanted to tell you thank you for telling Steve about what what Mrs. Corey was up to. Madison, whatever.
I'm just glad the truth is all out in the open. What are you planning to do about it?
Nothing. Right now, anyway.
I see. How about your boss, Chief Mallory?
Oh, he doesn't know anything. I'm not telling him anything.
What do you think about him, Deborah? What do you think of Derek Mallory? He's quite the ladies' man, isn't he?
What?
Has he ever made a pass at you? I mean, you're a very attractive young woman.
Goodness, no.
By the way, have you seen Nicole around headquarters lately?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw her when I was leaving. She was with the chief.
I knew it. I knew it. Where else would she be except with the chief? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lose my temper. It's just I'm a little sensitive on this subject, you know?
Miles, I'm not quite sure what the subject is.
Sure you are. It's Derek Mallory, passionate police chief. That's a good name for him, isn't it?
Well, I've heard him called a lot of things, but that's not one of them.
I mean, you don't know? I thought everybody down at headquarters had figured it out by now. I mean, with his crush on Nicole. Can't blame him, of course. She's the most beautiful woman in Monticello. Lady cops accepted.
Well, Miles, I don't know about that. I mean, don't you think that Chief Mallory is not the kind of person to have any kind of tender feelings as far as I'm concerned. At least he doesn't show them in public.
Oh, of course not. No, of course. He's got to hide them. He's got to hide his feelings for Nicole. Keep them private. After all, she is still a married woman, right? Even though we are separated.
Miles, this isn't true what you're saying.
How do you know it's not true? Does he confide in you, Deborah? Does he tell you about his private life?
No, he doesn't. He's all business.
Yes, he's all business until it comes to Nicole. All business. But don't you let him fool you. Your boss has a heart, Deborah, and right now it is beating double time for my wife. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get into this. Thank you very much for coming over here, Deborah, and telling me about Nola Madison. I'm glad that's all over with.
Yeah, I'm sure it is now that the masquerade is over.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad it's over. She's a dangerous woman, or, well, she might have become one.
Well, Miles, I'm going to go now. I've got to drop into a couple of neighborhood bars and ask some questions.
Oh. You take care of yourself, huh?
All right, Miles, take care of yourself.
Oh, sure. Listen, I am the doctor, right? It's not quite as macho a job as chief of police, but that's what I am. She's with him again. Right now. Oh, my God. How am I going to be able to stand this?
But you could have done better, Elliot. Didn't you realize how it sounded? Telling the police that you went to a movie the night your wife was assaulted. That you dropped in to a bar you can't even name.
I told them the truth.
That doesn't matter. It simply isn't enough of the truth.
How much is necessary? Look, all that matters, darling, is that I was nowhere near Margo's house that night. I was on the other side of town, just as you were.
But at least I was seen by someone. By Steve Guthrie. Didn't anyone see you?
No one who knows me, I'm afraid. The movie house was completely dark. The bar was quite empty.
But there was a bartender,
Oh,
wasn't there?
yes. There was a bartender, but he was one of the surly types who never looks at his customers.
You're taking this very lightly, Elliot.
But damn it, Nola, I told those people the truth. Now, is it my fault that the truth sounds like a falsehood?
You didn't even remember the name of the movie you saw.
Well, it was some space opera or something. I fell asleep during it. I don't like ray guns and rocket ships and all that stuff, you know.
You didn't identify the movie. The police did. By checking the program for that night. Darling, don't you see how worried I am?
But what?
They know that you asked Margo for the divorce and she refused it. Don't you see the implication?
That I try to kill her? For some sort of instant divorce?
Well, isn't that obvious?
I had no such thing.
And why have you lied to the police?
Darling, please.
You did lie, Elliot. I know when you're lying.
You're beginning to sound like my wife, Nola.
Damn it, Elliot. You've got to tell the truth. Look, I want to know where you were exactly when your wife was being bludgeoned.
No, Nola, my sweet. No, listen. I realize that the explanation I gave the police doesn't give me an ironclad alibi. But I thought it would be much better to tell the simple truth, no matter how unconvincing it may sound.
Why a movie? Why didn't you come home?
You weren't at home, Nola. Why would I come home to an empty house? You were out playing a masquerade.
Look, I hope you don't think that what I did was silly, Elliot. Dressing myself up as that old woman next door to Deborah.
At least now I know how you spent your days.
It was a ridiculous sort of joke, I know that. But you have to understand how I felt when Owen left me because of that woman.
You wanted revenge.
I don't know what I wanted. Yes, I suppose I did want to hurt her in a way. Or at least find out what she was doing.
So you were hoping to get Owen back?
No, that wasn't the reason. It wasn't after you came into my life. But I couldn't stop the game that easily. You understand?
What were you doing outside the building that night Detective Guthrie spotted you?
I was going to pack up the things I'd left in the apartment, that's all. The game was over, Elliot.
Game is over. Now it seems we have to play a new game.
I just hope we aren't the losers. Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Madison. This is Police Chief Derek Mallory.
Yes, Chief Mallory. What is it you want?
Well, I wonder if Elliot Dorn is there with you.
Yes, he's here. Did you want to speak to him?
Please.
Just a moment. Dear God, the Chief of Police.
Don't worry. Yes?
Mr. Dorn, perhaps Perhaps I should be telling you this in person, but I thought you might want to know as soon as possible.
Know what?
Your wife passed away an hour ago.
Dear God.
Please accept my sympathies.
Yes. Thank you, Chief. I'll do whatever is necessary under the circumstances. Goodbye.
What is it?
Margo's dead. Well, I guess I have to do the right thing, whatever that is.
Where are you going?
To the hospital, I suppose. I still am her closest relative, no matter how far apart we were.
But she has a daughter.
I have to keep up appearances, Nola. That's what you're very concerned about, isn't it? Appearances. Oh, there is one thing, though, that is different now. There is no longer any reason for us not to become man and wife, is there?
You know, I spent a couple of hours with your mother this afternoon. I was talking to her. I don't know if she heard me or not, though. I told her I wasn't angry with her anymore. That whole business with Henson and the job in New York, it's just so unimportant now. I asked her to forgive me.
Oh, Draper, I'm so glad you did.
I don't feel angry anymore. I just feel terribly sad.
I don't know what I feel. I can't believe she's dead. I did love her, Draper.
I know. And she loved you so much. I don't know how I could have ever hated anybody who loved you so much. Come on.
Draper, she loved you. She did. I'm sure she loved you. And I think if she had only gotten the chance, she would have told you that.
I know. Look, did Dr. Corwin say anything when he called this morning? Did your mother ever regain consciousness at all? She say anything?
Not really.
False alarm, huh?
Yeah, I guess that's what it was. Draper, who could have done this to her? Who could have murdered my mother?
I don't know, honey. The police will find out, though. I mean, Deborah and Steve are working on the case. You just have to believe that they'll find the person who did this. The right person.
Look at all these fingerprints. There must be 200 unidentified, unclassified fingerprints. No two alike. The traffic in and out of that penthouse must have been unreal.
Okay, you've convinced me. It's very puzzling. Are you or are you not going to serve that warrant?
I would like one reason not to.
I gave you a reason.
Oh, I know your reasons, Logan. He's not capable of violence. Well, that's not good enough. This is a very important case, as you know. The most important case I've had since I've taken this office, and I'm not going to be known as a dawdler.
Oh, you'd rather have the reputation for being quick on the trigger, is that it? How are you going to feel if you arrest Draper today and tomorrow the real killer turns up, huh?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, why can't you wait a few days and find out? Your investigation isn't even concluded yet. Yesterday it was an assault. Today it's a murder.
The facts haven't changed. I would like you to give me one idea as to how this crime could have been committed by anybody else but your friend Draper Scott.
Not my responsibility.
Excuse me, I hate to interrupt you, but I've got some information. Hi, Logan.
Deborah.
I've been checking out that alibi.
Whose alibi is that? You working on the Dorn murder?
Yeah, I am. Did you say Joan murder?
Yes, she died an hour ago.
Oh, God.
We'll continue. What happened?
I checked out the 2 bars within a 5-block radius of the Riverside Theater, and there was one that's been closed ever since 10 days ago, and the other one is a neighborhood bar frequented by 4 or 5 regulars, and that is it. Chief, I'm telling you that I've learned enough information. I think somebody else had to have killed Margo Dorn.